According to a recent report published by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Israel has the highest poverty rate among nations in the developed world, and the gap between the wealthy and impoverished sectors is continuously expanding. The executive director of the Taub Center for Social Policy Research, Dr. Dan Ben-David, told IBA's R.A. O'Sullivan that the primary reason for this is the rapid decline of Israeli productivity.
We have a serious employment problem with non-Haredi Jews as well. Rates of employment are among the lowest of the OECD in prime working age non-Haredi Jews. So we have actually a problem elsewhere too, because we do have a dysfunctional education system that's bringing up a cohort that doesn't know math, barely knows English, has very few skills to deal in a modern economy, and it's not just among the Arabs and not just among the Haredim. The national average is below every single one of the relevant OECD countries for the past a decade and a half. So it's much deeper and much, even if we take out the Arabs and the Haredim from the analysis of poverty, and you recalibrate the poverty line, because that's it's a relative term. Israel's poverty among Jewish non-Haredim is among the highest in the Western world.
Dan, is this the problem of the poor not working, or people not making the pay scale that's high enough?
Oh, it's worse than that. Not only is the share of people working low, productivity, in other words, those who do work, the amount that they produce in an hour is among the lowest in the OECD. And when you produce a little bit an hour, look at our report. I mean, in our recent State of the Nation report, we show that Israel's productivity is among the lowest in the OECD. Therefore, you're not going to be getting high wages per hour if your productivity is low. But it's worse than that. For the past 4 decades, it's falling farther and farther behind, which means that unless we get our act together on the core things that affect growth and inequality and poverty, we're going to have major issues down the road here.
And yet, on the other hand, Israel is helping to feed Africa. So what does that say about the Israeli society?
We are the startup nation. We have everything that we want going for us, but it's not sustainable. We have 2 Israels in one. We have a fantastic Israel that has all the knowledge, but if that knowledge does not reach all the rest of Israel, this first world Israel, the startup nation Israel, is not going to be sticking around. There is a major question here where our children are going to be. If you look at the academic brain drain today from Israel, where from Europe you have about 1 to 3%. For every 100 professors in Europe, you have 1 to 3 to 4% in America. In Israel, it's 29%. There's nothing comparable. Okay, and there is there's a very we're at a crossroads here. This is a Ben Gurion moment. Okay, are we going to fix it in the next few years? This is our generation. Either we deal with this now, as difficult politically as it is, or we lose the country when our children grow up, because many of them won't be here, and then the knowledge base will not be here to give to everyone else who's here. Either we get our act together, or we